Hello and welcome to Retro Pickups for the Week, Saturday. What is it? July 2nd. So I got some good stuff this week. So I'm going to, for the sake of YouTube, I think, maybe I'll show the best thing first. I don't know, because I have trouble with viewer retention in my videos, and I think it's because I'm not starting with the best thing. But who knows? I don't know. But I'm going to show the best thing first. See how that goes. So I got this from eBay. So I've always wanted to get a Atomic Purple Game Boy Color. And to get one, Game Boy Colors are expensive. They're like $80, So, and I have a Game Boy Color. I have one already. But I wanted the Atomic Purple Game Boy Color. But I also wanted a Game Boy Color with a backlit screen. And I thought about buying a Game Boy Color plus the kit and like building one, and it turns out that buying a Game Boy Color plus the kit is almost as much as buying one already made on eBay. So I bought a Game Boy Color off eBay with the backlit screen already installed, and I'm going to show that right now. Here's what I got. Game Boy Color, Atomic Purple, with the backlit already installed. Now I do have the original Game Boy Color to compare it to, and I'll show off both. But let me just turn on the game. Also, along with the Game Boy Color, they sent me Pokemon Crystal. It's a reproduction cart, but it was free, and I don't already have this game, so that's fun. So that goes in there. Looks awesome. So here it is with the backlit screen. I'm about to flip it on. There we go. Sorry, I don't have a good way to adjust the focus. But as you can see, it looks great. So here is an original unmodified Game Boy Color. I'll go ahead and flip this one on too. So they're both turned on. You'll notice that the new one also has a bigger screen on it. So that's another modification. But yeah, I'm actually really happy with how this turned out. There's the original. You can barely see it because it's not backlit, but there's Zelda on there. And here's the new one. So it feels good. The screen is bigger. The screen can be has this little like control thing at the top. I can tap on this, and for black and white games anyway, you can kind of change the color of the backlight. It doesn't really make sense to do this with color games, but with black and white games, it might give you a cool effect. But yeah, the game, like the shell is an aftermarket shell, and it doesn't feel the same. Doesn't feel the same as an official shell, but it feels fine. It's very good. I like it. So I will give that a very good rating for the backlit Game Boy Color versus the old one. And as a bonus, this is not a new pickup, but this is something that I haven't shown. And this is a Game Boy Color carrying pouch. Now what's cool about this is the pouch I owned with my original Game Boy Color that I purchased in 1998. This is the pouch I got with it, and somehow I don't have my original Game Boy Color anymore. This one that I just showed you wasn't originally mine. This was actually my mom's Game Boy Color that she bought for herself back in the 90s, and she gave this one to me a couple years ago, and I was very happy about that. So, but my personal original Game Boy Color I have no idea what happened to that thing. I probably sold it to buy a Game Boy Advance or something, but I somehow still have the pouch for it. So I'm going to marry the old school pouch with the atomic purple. It just slides in like that. There's even cutouts in this little plastic here. Cutouts for the buttons and the screen. So you can play the game while it's in the pouch. But yeah, that protects it. There's even a belt loop. If you want to hold your Game Boy Color on your belt, you got the belt loop in the pouch. So authentic 90s Game Boy pouch for my Game Boy Color. Okay, there's the Game Boy stuff. Next I'm going to show off this garage sale find. I was walking to a restaurant for lunch last weekend, and there was a garage sale on the side of the street, and I decided to check it out. They had a PlayStation 2 game for $1 at this garage sale, and it was the only game that I saw there, and it was The Simpsons Hit and Run for the PlayStation 2 for $1. Now, it is a great deal for a game, any game, PlayStation 2. However, looking at the condition of the disc, this you probably can't see it on camera, but this disc is in really bad shape. I would be surprised if this game did not play because of how scratched up it is, but and dirty. But I'm gonna get a disc buffing system, or maybe find somebody who has a disc buffer. I'm gonna try and buff that out. Maybe that'll work just fine. Who knows? But yeah, Simpsons Hit and Run. $1 garage sale find. So there's that. Okay. Next game is from AliExpress. This is, oh crap. That's not good. This is a reproduction game, okay? And I know some people are not cool with the reproductions. I don't mind, but I have something to say about this in particular. Super Mario Bros. 2 reproduction game for the NES. I haven't tested this yet. Reproduction games are always hit and miss. The thing about Mario 2 is there's no save, so there, a lot of the times I have problems with reproduction games having bad save chips, or at least in one example I have. As long as the inner ring isn't damaged, you can buff it out. Okay, yeah, I'll try and buff that out. There's no save files on this, so that won't be an issue. But here's the thing about NES games. NES games are so old that when you get legitimate, real NES games, they're old, and the contacts are bad, and they're corroded, and they're dirty, and sometimes they don't work, and the connections are bad. So I would be interested, I haven't tested this yet, but I would be really interested to see if a reproduction game works more reliably than a legitimate game that's 30 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like those 30-year-old games, they're not working. They're not in their best shape anymore. Hey, Alderin! My friend from school, how are you doing? So these,
pterodactyl now?
It's the pterodactyl clip again.
He screams like a pterodactyl, like...
Hey, thanks for the coins! Oh, right into my chat. my Palm Pilot will collect those coins for me. Thanks, Alderin, for the coins. I appreciate that so much. So I was saying, are reproduction games going to work more reliably than a 30-year-old legitimate NES game? We'll see. We'll see how that goes. So anyway, we'll try that out sometime soon on stream. Reproduction contacts aren't made of the same material, so if they aren't squeaky clean, it's a miracle if they work at all. Well, yeah, we'll see how that goes. And the last game is another reproduction game. This is for Super Nintendo. And this is definitely something I would only buy a reproduction of because the actual legitimate real game is so expensive. And that is Chrono Trigger for the Super Nintendo. So I got Chrono Trigger for the Super Nintendo. To get a legitimate copy of this will cost you about $100 or so or more. This was like, I think $15 on AliExpress for a reproduction. So yeah, I'm a little bit worried because it does save. The original game had a battery save. This one probably uses an EEPROM or something to save to. Some reproduction games I've bought in the past have had problems saving. So we'll hope this one. But some games have no problem saving. So hopefully this is one of the good ones. You get what you pay for. Dude, yeah, but I don't know. I wouldn't buy this for $100. I wouldn't pay $100 for it. $16, 15, 16 bucks. That's more my style. So yeah, it's a reproduction game. So we'll see how that goes. I've had good luck with reproduction games. I've had mostly hits for the reproduction games. So anyway, one last thing. This is not a video game retro pickup, but it is a retro pickup. And this I got at a garage sale for free. In fact, I got a whole bunch more of these. This is a Transformer. This is actually from Beast Wars. You guys remember that show, Beast Wars? This is the Decepticon. The leader, I forget the character's name. But, seems to be like having a problem staying put. But yeah, this is actually one of the coolest ones. And I'm afraid to try to transform it, because I'll probably not know how to do it without some kind of instructions. Seems to be having an issue staying put. How does this work? I don't know. But yeah, it's the Beast Wars Decepticon. And I got a bin full of these Beast Wars Transformers and Ninja Turtles. So I'll have to pull that bin out and show off more of these guys. But yeah, it's pretty big too. Look how big he is. That's a big action figure. So there you go. The best thing by far is the Game Boy Color Beast Wars. Cool stuff. And that's it for retro pickups. Be sure and like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you like retro pickups, and I will keep posting them. I'm going to try out the new retro games that I picked up while I'm streaming. So I have to change the system out. I got to change it to the NES and the Super NES. So join me as we switch out the one. Oh wow. It started right up. Well, this reproduction game plays just like the Okay, here's Chrono Trigger for Super Nintendo. Looks like it's running just fine. We gotta see if it saves though, right? That's gonna be the test. Alright, can I save? Alright, so I saved my game. I'm gonna turn off the system, power it back on, and see if my save is still there. Gonna shake it around. Should try and shake the save off of the cart. Just kidding, that doesn't do anything. Okay, let's see. Let's see what happens. I remember renting this game as a kid. Actually, it was my friend who rented it. And we just, hey, there it is, my save. So I guess that works.